Hey guys, we're going to work on fetching our messages and then displaying them as comments. So the first thing we're going to do is actually get our query working. So that's on our back end over here. We have a messages query. Now for this, we just want to return the messages for that channel, which is passed to us as an argument. So here's the channel ID, so we're going to use that to fetch. So we're going to say models.findAll. And here we are going to pass in our channel ID, which is an argument. So channel ID. And we're going to say, if we look at our message over here, we can see that it has a one-to-many relationship with channels, and we actually just use the name channel ID for our foreign key. So we can just search for channel ID. And then I'm going to make this a raw query. And we don't have to do anything really with the user here. We do need to make sure the user is logged in though, because they shouldn't be seeing this screen if they're not. And actually the same thing with create message. So similar how we did our team, and we did requires auth, we're going to do that over here. You're probably seeing how handy it is to just be able to add this around our functions now. So create resolver, and now we have auth for that route. Oops, what did I do wrong? Oh, should go around here. There we go. And same thing for this function. So requires auth.create resolver, and put it down here. Awesome. Now we're not finished yet, because if we look at our messages schema, you notice how we have a channel, but we're not going to use that channel right now, so we're not going to worry about fetching that, but also a user. So we actually need to fetch the user as a separate statement. Kind of how if we look at our teams, see how we did a separate team down here, and then we showed how to fetch the channels. We can copy that. We're basically going to do the exact same thing with messages. So here, paste that in. So this time the type is a message, and what we want is a user. Now you want the names to match up. So message, that is the name of our type, and then here is user, so we're going to do user here. If you notice with our team, we did lowercase channels. So while we use the type for this one, here we do the name of the property or the field. So here we get an ID for this is the ID of our message. And we should have a relation set up between the user and the message to be able to find the user. So for us, if we look at, let's see, messages, let's see how we set this up. So we have a user ID. So really we care about the user ID here. So we want to grab that from our message, and then we want to do a user, and we only need to find one, right? So we're going to say find one where the ID, and this is equal to user ID. Perfect. So this should fetch stuff. Let's see what happens. And I don't see anything here, so I wonder if we're getting an error. Nothing. And we are. So find, here we need to do models.message. There we go. And now we can see if we're getting any other errors. And looks like it started up okay. So we can do a refresh here. Nothing's showing up here. Let's see on our back end. Another error. Cannot return null for non-nullable field message created at. So I'm thinking created at is just underscored right now. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So this is an async function, so I could say const messages is equal to await. We're just going to console.log the messages, and then we're going to return messages. And why are we getting, oh, because I have an extra parenthesis I think here. There we go. There we are. So now we can see what is inside our messages. So let's run this again. So on our front end here, we're expecting the field created at with a camel case. But if we come over here, let's see what the values look like. These should be raw values. I put raw as true. Let's do raw as true up here as well. They still look like objects. Notice how created at didn't get changed for us. So this is kind of annoying, but I don't think we're using created at anywhere else. So I'm just going to do a quick map over our messages and just change the naming conflict that we have. Or, you know what? Let's not change the naming conflict in our schema. Let's do it there. So instead of having to map over them, in my messages schema, I'm going to say created at has an underscore. This is like a bad tradition, right? Because everywhere else we're using camel case, but this saves us from having to map here, which would be annoying. You could choose to map over and change the name of all of them, but I think I'm just going to try this and see if this works. So underscore at. So let's see if we get any problems with our server. Server seemed to built okay. Did a refresh and we fetch everything okay. So that looks fine. I'm going to revert this back to the way it was. And say return. My thing will auto format it for me, I believe. Yep, there we go. And all I wanted to do was make this into an arrow function that returned this and not have curly braces. So now that works again because we changed it to underscores. And we see our message here. So awesome. And let's see. So we have an ID of 1, text we said hi, we can see our username. Perfect. So now instead of just showing the JSON data here, I now want to grab this comment card or this comment component and use that. So I'm going to import this from Semantic UI. So this is going to be, yep, it's going to be right here that we're going to be using this stuff in our message container. We really only care about the comment here. And this is going to wrap messages. It's going to wrap all around this. And then we're going to use a comment group. So comment.group. And we'll wrap our comments. Now here we're going to map through and create our comments. So I'm going to say messages.map. And for every message, we will create a comment. So if we copy this, we can see this is how you create a comment. Now for us, we don't have a avatar, so I'm just going to get rid of that. Here, the author, I can put m.user.username. Metadata, for now, we will show m.created at, and then the text we'll do m.text. And now when you're mapping through, you always have to put a key. So the key we'll do here is message, and then we'll put m.id, so it's unique. And I'm actually going to put this at the front, so id-message. And then we'll probably have a reply we'll work on later, but let's take a look at what this looks like. Okay, that looks okay, I suppose. It looks a lot nicer over here when it has a little icon here. It has a little avatar. It looks nicer with the avatars. Oh, and look how they nested comments like that. That's kind of cool. So I put a comment inside of a comment to create like this little thread. So here are our messages. I'm just going to add a little bit of padding so it looks nice. So in our messages, just to get it off the side, Let's say padding left is 20 pixels and padding right is 20 pixels. And maybe we'll do what Slack does and they'll just create a little avatar for you if you don't have one. But let's create another message. Hello 4. If I refresh, all right, we can see here's hello 4. It's at the very bottom, so that's good. We're sorting this correctly. But it's good to make sure to actually order this how we want to. So I'm going to say order. This is how you order things in SQLize. So in your find all, you can pass it as a parameter or a prop. Order, and then you say what you want to order. So for us, we're going to order by created at. Okay, so come over here real quick. We're going to say order. We're going to say created at, and we're going to say ascending. I actually don't know if we want it ascending or descending. That's something we'll have to play with. I'm not sure what it is considered ascending and what's considered descending for times. Okay, so we destroyed something. Oh, for whatever reason you have to wrap this with another array. There we go. Okay, load it up okay. Nope, something else I did was wrong. Column message does not exist. Okay, so it looks like we're going to have to use the underscore version here. Okay, so that looks good, and it looks like it sorted it in the right order. Perfect. Nice. So the next thing that we're going to be working on is setting up subscriptions, making this thing scrollable. So if I have a lot of messages like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, if I refresh this, notice how I have to scroll the whole screen, and when I scroll the whole screen, I don't see the teams anymore. So what we're going to do is make a scroll panel here. We're also going to make this flow at the bottom and flow upward. Right now you can see how it's kind of floating from top to bottom. We want to flow from bottom to top. And then we're going to start doing subscriptions, because right now when I type a message, it doesn't pop up here right away. I have to refresh the screen, so the whole world can't see my message until they refresh. So we'll add subscriptions so they don't have to do that. So that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and as always, the code is up on GitHub.